So this is not a good way if you want your brain to work effectively. In fact, it will shut down your brain. Okay, so this morning I ended up getting a message from someone who straight away I could tell what their mental and emotional blocks were that were keeping them stuck. And this is something that the majority of people that I see have and face. And most people don't even realize it, to be honest. In fact, I would say that probably 99% of the people that I work with or have worked with or have come to our events have this exact pattern and have never even thought about this mental pattern this way. But it's also the reason why they stay blocked and why they can't find answers to the problems that they consistently have. So what this was this person, Joel from the community, is messaged because he wanted to come and do one of our events, our Thrive Time event. And what happened was he said there, which is really smart. So straight away, the first thing that I always say to people is that you need to be self-aware. Those who aren't self-aware don't really realize that they're the problem. And they're the people who just bitch and moan and complain about everything in life. And they really never get anywhere. And I'm sure you know those types of people. In fact, I decided to stop surrounding myself with those people years and years ago because I knew that they wouldn't get anywhere in life. But what happened is he's self-aware enough to say, look, I would love to come to one of your events and I would love to take action in changing my mind. And what he says here, for once, instead of just always thinking about it every day. Plus, I want to surround myself with greater people. So he knows exactly what he wants, which is a great thing. And I would assume that most of the people who are watching this podcast episode or listening to this podcast episode know exactly what they want, or at least they have these visions that keep popping up inside their head. They might also know some of the patterns of behavior that are keeping them stuck. So Joel here is reasonably self-aware, which the majority of the people who come to our events or watch my stuff are. But here's a pattern that most people don't think about, which is the reason why they get stuck. So what he says here, I'm only by myself, so hearing other people's thoughts and ideas may open my mind. Again, he's self-aware. And then he says this part here, open my mind on the things that I may have not have thought about, but financially it's not possible. So what he's saying is, I know that there's all these things that I want in life. There's all these great things that I want to try to achieve. And I'm sure you feel this way as well, because you're probably listening to this podcast episode for a reason. And that reason is that you probably want to achieve a load more in life. And you're probably one of those driven mofos out there, like our community of driven mofos. He's very, very self-aware. But then he says this one key thing, which in my head, I went, bang, I know exactly why he's stuck. He says that I would love to attend, but financially it's not possible. This is something that I learned years and years ago, and that is that questions open the mind up to possibility. Statements shut down the brain, and they're a lazy person's way of self-communication and communicating with others. And this is the reason why at my events or when I'm speaking, when I ask questions to a person, I'll normally ask them the question and they say, I don't know. Because I don't know is a statement, it means that their brain can go back to sleep. And so what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll hold them accountable and I say, hang on, I asked a question, you gave a response in like 1 to 2 seconds, which is, I don't know. Did I give you a time frame? Think about it. Like, take your time. Just think through it. Like, let your brain actually do its job, which is thinking about things. And normally people laugh because they know they do exactly the same thing. But statements shut down the brain. They're just a way of us not thinking. Now, most people use statements in life like, I'm just fat, or I'm just lazy, or I'm always tired, or I can't learn, or, I'm not surrounded by good people, or I don't have the money, I don't have the time. These are all statements that we say when we're being lazy, when we're being mentally lazy. Now, that doesn't mean a person is lazy, it just means that they're mentally lazy. So then what we want to do is we want to ask a question. So instead of saying, financially it's not possible, changing that around to a question saying, how can I get the money? Now, when you ask that question, it can give you a completely different answer. So how could I find the money? How could I get the money? How could I borrow the money? Or what could I do to add more value into society so that then I can get paid more? Whatever that question is, that question will give you the answer that you're looking for if you ask the right question. So you've got good questions and you've got questions. Most people, even when they're looking for results, they will give statements first, and normally they give themselves really, really questions like, why am I so fat? Well, the reason why you're so fat, and if I was your brain, and this is an unconscious pattern, but when you say things like, why am I so fat? Your brain will say things like, because you're lazy, because you're stupid, because you don't understand enough, because you sit around too much, because you can't control yourself. Now, none of those things are going to help you to get the result that you want. When you ask questions like, why am I always broke? Well, because you're dumb, because you're stupid, because you don't understand anything, because you weren't born to rich parents. They're the answers that you get unconsciously. Now, they're not going to help you to be financially independent. So by asking better questions, like, how can I become financially independent? What do I need to learn in order to improve my financial literacy? How can I get the money to improve my financial literacy? All of those high quality questions will get you closer to the answer that you want that's going to help you to achieve. So just remember, statements shut down the brain, questions open the brain up. And then you have effective questions and ineffective questions, or sometimes I just label them as good and bad questions, but there really are no good and bad questions because they're all teaching us a lesson that we need to learn. Anyway, I hope that helps. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share. I really appreciate all of those who have been doing that. Please remember to share this stuff as well with your friends and family if they're helping. I really want to get this stuff out there so we can help more people live epic lives and do cool shit in life. I hope these podcasts are helping. Anyway, take care, everyone. Never underestimate the dream.